Hey resellers, welcome back to Lava City Threads. I'm Alveraz. Last week we worked on improving systems. In particular, we worked on how to improve our listings. We used Nifty AI, which is my platform that I use for cross-listing. I'm sure many of you guys use that too, but it really doesn't matter what you use or if you use a cross-listing platform at all. You might just be posting on Poshmark, you might just be posting on eBay, Mercari, wherever. That doesn't matter. What matters or what we worked on was how to leverage AI in order to get that system to move along faster. Today we're going to expand on that. We're going to work on pricing. How do we get better pricing? How do we get better comps for those listings? And I'm going to show you a way to do it outside of a cross-listing platform by using just regular old Google Gemini. You can use ChatGPT too. I've used a few different ones, or I've tested it on a few different ones, and I found Gemini to give me the best results. So what you're looking at right here is what's called a master prompt. I'm going to kind of articulate this as if you're new to master prompts and AI in general, so hopefully that makes sense to you. But here's the master prompt that I wrote. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this information here, we're going to pop it into Gemini, and it's going to spit out some results for us that we can then cross-reference to what we've already uploaded in Nifty AI. Again, last week we uploaded items to Nifty AI, and we utilized the AI window within Nifty to give us the best results possible there. This is a sort of a better way to cross-reference it to make sure we're getting all the right details plus better comps, right? So this is pretty important. And again, we're doing all this so we can get our systems down to less than 30 seconds, 60 seconds per item, getting that item up as fast as possible. That's why I'm knocking out 20 to 30 items in a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, something like that. It depends. Right now I'm leaning, ooh, you hear that thunder? Central Oregon, it happens. Right now I'm leaning into a lot of vintage items, so it takes me a little bit longer because AI isn't always that fast at picking up the vintage stuff. But for those of you who are selling bread and butter items, bread and butter clothing, or even just hard goods, you're probably going to get some better results as long as you have better information to plug into AI. But let's get back to this master prompt so you can kind of see what's happening. So this master prompt that we're going to plug in says, research this item using the provided images and any visible brand, tag, size, style, material, and condition details. Look up verified sold comps on eBay, Poshmark, Depop, Mercari, whatnot, and Etsy. Those are the platforms that I cross-list to, so that's why it's in here. We're only going to use verified sold comps for pricing. We're also going to check the sell-through rate and grade it this way. Now, this can be controversial, okay, and this is highly dependent on your business model. This is very flexible, and this is just the way I have it set in here because, frankly, I'm not a big STR guy. I've been on eBay since 2010, and I know enough about clothing now and brands and styles and vintage and modern bread and butter stuff and bolos and you name it. I know enough about it now where I don't necessarily depend on STR as much. But I have a very brief kind of general look up STR for me on here so I can kind of make sure I'm in the same ballpark. You know, if something pops up here on AI that tells me, hey, this is a 10% STR, and I'm over here thinking it's 100% STR, then I'll pause for a second, jump on eBay and kind of double check some stuff. But if it's pretty close to what I'm doing or what I already know it to be, the STR, I'll go ahead and continue. But again, many people are doing the STR, calculating it wrong anyway, and eBay has so many different search issues within their algorithm, and we'll probably get to that when I double check some stuff on eBay, that not all STRs are created equally. So as it says here, check the sell-through rate and grade it this way. 0 to 24% STR is poor, 25% to 50% STR moderate, over 50% is excellent. Again, some of you are like, I only want 100% sell-through rate, and that's fine, cool. You can adjust this. What I want you to do is just kind of take this general, you can pause the video, take this general master prompt and tweak it to what's best for you. Tell me whether this item is vintage. If it is vintage, means the item is more than 20 years old from today's date. If the item is vintage, start the title with vintage, okay? And this is for clothing, by the way, usually. That's usually what I sell. Some shoes, maybe some hats every once in a while. If I note the item is new, start the title with new. Use title case only, meaning capitalize the first letter of each major word. Output only 3 brief bullet points in this exact order. Create a strong eBay title between 75 and 80 characters. Start with brand, item, gender, size. We talked about that last week, how we like to use that BIGS acronym, right? Brand, item, gender, size. Then add modern high search keywords. Actually, what I like to do is I like to make sure the color's in there, maybe the fabric, and then I'll get to some more keywords. Suggested price. Give the suggested listing price based only on verified sold comps. Include the sold comp price range, platforms used, number of verified sold comps, SDR percentage, SDR platform, and STR grade. Like we said, poor, moderate, or excellent. Description. Write a brief copy-paste eBay description under 200 characters. Make it SEO friendly and focused on the likely buyer. Use fresh, modern SEO keywords in the description. Do not mention screenshots, image metadata, file names, or references to the images. Do not add any extra explanation, condition notes, pricing tiers, measurements, or any sections beyond the 3 bullets above. Now, I just want to mention that this entire thing has been something I've been tweaking for months. Okay, so this isn't just, oh, I just typed in a master prompt and it just suddenly worked. I have had to go back and say all these specific things and tweak words very specifically in order to get exactly what I want. Does it still work perfectly? No, AI is not there yet, but I'm getting, 7 out of 10 pretty accurately. But we'll go through these. I'm going to go through some examples here in just a second. Okay, so let's head on over to Nifty real quick, and we're just looking at some drafts that I have here. Again, even if you don't use Nifty, it doesn't matter if you use a cross lister or not. The idea is let's jump into one that maybe we've been working on or that we're about to start, and we'll take it from there. So let's pick one here. Let's do these Wrangler pants, some vintage Wrangler pants actually. And okay, so like we did last week, I'm not going to go too deep into this part, but what I do is I adjust these photos. Take a look at that last video because I show you exactly the best order to put, or the order that I like to put my images in, why, and I go into sizes, how to make the appropriate sizes, how to adjust your pictures correctly. And then we also get into the AI function within Nifty that will give you stronger results in your description and in your title. Okay, so this is already done. Once I upload these pictures, Nifty is now adding everything I need in here, and they're getting it pretty close every time. What we're working on today is pricing. Now, how do we get the most accurate price, or the best price we can that will help us be competitive in the market, right? So we have this information here. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to that prompt. Let's go ahead and grab it, copy it, head on over to Gemini, Google Gemini, paste it in there. You can try this on different AI systems. And then you could just drop in a few pictures, right? So let's upload. I got some goofy stuff in here. Okay, so let's go over to where those Wranglers, oh, look at, I'm pointing at the Wranglers. How silly is that? Okay, here we go. Let's just drop in these 3. We have the tag, we have the front and the back. Let's just take that out. Let's go minimum. I just want to, because again, this is about adjusting your systems, improving your systems so they're so fast that you can just move. This is just a quick double check, just to get a quick price, get some basic ideas for the item, and get it listed as fast as possible, right? So let's just throw this up there. Now my computer's kind of slow, so pardon if it takes a few more seconds than yours does. You probably have a newer system than I do. I have an old iMac, but I also have dual monitors, which is very beneficial. But anyway, that's another video. Okay, so let's see what it spits out for us. It's searching the web. While it's doing that, I'm just doing a quick check over here, making sure that everything is right. My SKUs down here, again, this is what I went over last week. Be sure to watch that video, how to get those listings as accurate as possible. Let's see what it spit out. Vintage Wrangler pants, men's, 34-30, brown heather, regular fit, dress slack, 70s. Love it. Let's match that up for what Nifty spit out. Wrangler pants, men's, 34, almost identical, right? I'm going to go ahead and paste paste the results we just got in over there on Gemini. Okay, let's go back here. So the suggested price is 45 bucks. The sold range was between 35 and 55. The platforms that it found was eBay and Etsy. It comped 18 sold items, and it found the STR to be about 62%. I say about, and I say 60%, 62% loosely. Okay, remember, this is all about how comfortable you feel with STRs and the way that eBay and or Etsy or Poshmark delivers those sell-through rates. Okay, I already know that I've sold these pants before, right? I've sold these same vintage Wrangler pants before, almost in the same exact, have the same style, several times. So I know that's actually about right. That's pretty close. So the platform that it used was eBay, and they're calling the grade excellent because I said if it's over 50%, just put excellent. So the description is vintage Wrangler dress slacks for men, iconic 70s Western wear style with a regular fit and durable heather knit fabric, sharp center crease, perfect for retro cowboy, rockabilly, or boho looks. Interesting. I dig it. I'll take it. Copy. Take that back over here. Let's look at their description. Here's their description that Nifty gave me. Pretty good, but let's just, for the sake of argument, or for what we're working on anyway, we'll throw that in there. And now let's do a quick check here. Let's take a look at this. It says suggested price 45 bucks, right? I want to just, if I wanted to do a quick check on this, let's go vintage Wrangler pants men's. Just take the most minimum part of the title you can first, if you want to just kind of do a double check over on eBay, right? So vintage Wrangler pants men's. Let's just try that and see what happens. So we've got 4,400 vintage Wrangler pants. I've got it sorted from low to high. Okay, so you can, the lows are really weak, but again, this is just the listing, right? What's important? If you answered sold comps, then you are right. Go over here. So what did we say that was? 4,400. What are the sold comps? Sold comps are about 1,000. Okay, but that's not totally correct. And there's many reasons why. One of which is not all of these are exactly what we're looking for, right? Vintage Realtree camo men's. You're just going to have, and we don't, this is such a controversial topic, and I really didn't want to get into the weeds with this, but if you go back to just the listings, you're going to find that many of these do not match what I'm looking for exactly. It's just to give you a broad idea. So the comps that we found and what they found over here for the brown heather regular fit dress slacks 70s is a little bit closer than this kind of broad vintage Wrangler pants men's. So make sure you are drilling down a little bit if you need to. If you're new to this, if you're a beginner, then it might be something worth your time to take your time and to drill down to get exactly what you're looking for and to get better comps. And I do recommend that for anybody that's new. If you haven't been around, if you've been around a while, you know the drill. You know that if it says 1,000 here on a very broad vintage Wrangler pants men's, that it's not necessarily accurate, but you know it's probably a pretty strong STR or pretty good. And then you can just kind of scroll down a little bit to check out the prices. So you've got anywhere from the 20s all the way up to the 40s in here. You've got some that are far less than that, but those are outliers, right? A lot of people just don't really know what they're doing. Like this guy here got 10 bucks, but these are cargo utility. He's saying they're vintage, but I'm not even sure those are. And then you've got like some new ones here, 50 bucks, right? That's new condition, but those are white. Those are competition jeans. They're not necessarily the same ones we're looking for. Again, here, these are rigs. See what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to get accurate results unless you drill down and you get exactly what you're looking for. These are ripstop rigs, right? That's a totally different pant. Again, with the camos. So you're just kind of going down and looking at the ones more like yours, right? Like here, 20 bucks, whatever, 20. And you can start to get down. Like here's some ranchers, right? Ranchers is really the strong word of the keywords that you're looking for. And right here, those are about 45. And he's got those laying out on his carpet. So again, I also believe, and I say again because I talked about this last week, we make our own STR. If you're putting up strong listings, you're putting up strong SEO words, you're putting up really strong cover photos and the rest of your photos with measurements, and you're a top-rated seller on eBay, which I am, if you're a beginner, don't worry, you'll get there. Just keep doing the right thing. Subscribe here, subscribe to other resale channels, and keep learning. You'll get there. But the top rated seller, doing these kinds of things helps your SDR, helps your search, helps their search, right? With a better with a better rating as a seller, you get pushed up in the algorithm a little bit. So there's all kinds of variables that come into the SDR, the sell-through rate. I've already made that point. I kind of want to move on from that point. But anyway, that's just kind of the quick double check there. So we would take this price here, and I would probably, now I know that it's between 35 and 55. Here's also a key point that's important. Right now we're heading into summer slowdown, which is kind of right after Memorial Day, right, is where it kind of starts. You guys might be experiencing that right now. I'm starting to see it a little bit in my store, and it'll last for a solid quarter. Maybe 3 months, maybe up to like August is when I start picking up. But anyway, the reason is because I also plan for seasonality. I'm not going to get, okay, so seasonality wise, in the winter, I'm always grabbing all that good spring stuff, setting it to the side so that way I'm ready for it come spring. This spring and summer wardrobe, I didn't plan for because I left this business for a while. So this is the first, but then I came back. So I left it for a while and then I came back. And so right now what I'm doing is I'm preparing for winter. And I have as much kind of spring and summer stuff up as I can, but I'm having to sprinkle in things like this, like pants and some lighter coats and things like this, because I had left the business for a while and I didn't have that extra spring and summer stock. Hopefully you're ahead of me. Hopefully you did prepare for that and you've got that inventory ready to be listed, things for the spring and summer, and that will really help your summer slowdown. That was my point. Make sure you're pumping that out right now. You should have already been pumping it out since like February, but if you have it right now, get that stuff out there first, right? I do have a point here. I have these pants up here, and this is about pricing. That's what I'm getting back to. I just took the circuitous route to explaining this. But my pricing here is going to be a little bit higher. Why? Because I'm going to have 2 or 3 rounds of discounts between now and the winter or in the fall when people start buying a little more thicker pants and jeans and sweaters and hoodies and jackets. So I'm listing those things a little bit higher right now because I do have store sales and I have discounts that continue for a few rounds until it hits that price. That's a little bit more the cherry price that I'm looking for, which will be around fall. And I'm also open to offers though. So I'm able to take those offers at a fair price now. So even though it might be a higher price, like I will probably pop these up there for about $45.97, $46.97, something like that. And then I'll take I'll take offers downwards of $35 probably for these. And they probably will go within a few weeks, only because I'm able to do that, because I will take those discounted prices. Keep in mind your margin. Okay, this is also very important here. This isn't something that we're not all the same here. We all have different stores. We're all on different chapters of our process. I have a very low average cost of goods. My average cost of goods is $2 because I have deals with local thrift stores, mom and pop thrift stores in my area, which I'll do a video on, by the way. If you'd like to see a video on that, comment down below and I'll discuss about ways to leverage your discounts in your area, wherever that is, and speaking with managers and owners of thrift stores in order to make deals, discovering what their pipeline is from how they get their inventory, how they sell their inventory, their sales within the store, and then most importantly, what's the pipeline out of that store? What are they doing with those clothes afterwards? And that's where you can really make an impact and help them improve their revenue, right? So where you're both doing well. You're both making out in the end. Anyway, another video. So right now I'm going to raise them higher, probably around 45, get probably around 35. But the most important thing is this worked. Okay, this prompt here worked. Now all you have to do on the next one is just put in next item. And let's go grab another item just to double check something. I'm not going to finish this now because I just want to do a few examples to show you how this works, how this prompt works. Let's take a look at, how about these? Here's some Ed Hardy sweatshorts. Ugh, remember that stuff? I don't know, people like it. not my jam, but if you're an Ed Hardy guy, who knows? What did I do here? Okay, there's a cover photo. I showed you a little bit of that last week, but that's another way of improving your systems. I've gotten really good at getting my background photos. It's not necessarily a controversial topic, but a lot of people just like white backgrounds or different ways of putting up their cover photos. I like using these little simple vibe backgrounds to kind of give a vibe for the item. And I only do that, or I would only suggest doing that if you can do so within seconds. So I will do another video on exactly how I do that. I do these through Photo Room, and I do them within seconds for each item. Again, I'm taking less than 1 minute per item to get it up and listed. That's what's most important. And this also helps my STR. I saw an improvement in my sales once I started doing that. Okay, back to where we were. What do we have here? Ed Hardy sweatshorts men's. Let's pop in a couple of those photos. Maybe 2, maybe 3. Let's see what I've got. Let's go down, find those shorts. Okay, so I'll do a front and back since the front and back have kind of different graphics on them. So there's the front, there's the back, and then 2 of the tags. We'll open those. And we don't need to re-enter the master prompt. It's already up there. And let's see what kind of results we get. Back to here, let's see what they put. Ed Hardy sweatshorts, men's, medium, Black Panther graphic, Y2K streetwear, tattoo art. Okay, that's fine. It's not bad. Yeah, they're not. I don't think these ones are vintage. Made in China, probably not. Okay, but what I did do is, like we discussed last week in the AI within Nifty, was I got it to finally reduce from medium and abbreviate it to just M, L, XL, and so forth. And so I had to tweak all of this in order to get better results there. Let's take a look at what it gave us. So the title, Ed Hardy shorts, men, medium, black. So again, they wrote, I will have to work on adjusting that master prompt, which I'm always tweaking, to get this down to just one letter, M. Why do we do that? Why do we want to reduce that? Because the algorithm within eBay and most of these search engines on these platforms don't care. They will use M or L or XL in their algorithms, in their search algorithms, and give the buyer the same results. So you don't have to fully write out medium, extra large, and so forth. You can just put in the abbreviated size, and you should get the same results. What does that do? It just opens up for more keywords that you can fit in there within the 80 character limit. Okay, so we'll copy that. We'll throw it over here, why not? Just to show you that you can change it up a little bit if you want. Suggested price, $45. The range here, 35 to 55. And so it looked over eBay and Poshmark and found 8 comps, gave me an STR of 44, so that's more of a moderate sell-through rate. I would suggest it's even a little bit higher, which again, depending on how you're running your business model, it could be just because you're kicking ass, just because your photos and your listings are really strong. So my STR is going to be probably, for these pairs of shorts, probably more like 75%, actually more like 100%, honestly. If I don't get rid of these within 90 days, I'd be very surprised. The description, men's Ed Hardy black fleece sweatshorts in size medium, features a vibrant panther and roses tattoo graphic with the iconic spell out logo. Let's take a look, do a quick check over here, Ed Hardy shorts men's. And what we're gonna do is quickly run it over here on eBay. And just see what's up. Okay, 463. Now, what's interesting is you're going to find things like this, where we have jean shorts, right? The ones that I'm putting up are fleece. But the prices are all, I've sold both of these, right? I've sold like the regular shorts, old shorts, new shorts, some vintage, some not, and even the fleece ones. And I'm finding most of the prices to be pretty comparable. So, you know, anywhere from 20 bucks all the way up to 50 bucks. That's kind of all over the place. You know, it's really kind of design dependent. And I've noticed, like with the tigers, lions, and they're whatever they are, the big animal print ones just do really well. And the skulls do pretty good too. Yeah. So anyway, you could just take a look at the prices here, and it's pretty spot on, right? It's got it pretty right. And so we'll go back over here and take a look at the price they're suggesting. They're suggesting 45 bucks. So now that we are in spring though, right, this is kind of the opposite. This can go fast at a competitive price. So I probably will be somewhere right in here in the middle. So I probably will go with something like 45, maybe even closer to 35, because I want to get my spring stuff going, pumping, and out the door. So these kinds of shorts, this is the time to get rid of them. So I'll probably start it around 35 bucks, maybe even 40, and get in the high 30s for it, maybe low 30s. I'll probably take an offer for low 30s. Okay. And again, that'll probably go within weeks. We'll check on it. This coming Tuesday, I'll have another video coming out where I go over my numbers, my sales numbers, my profit, everything, full transparency of my store so that we can see exactly how I'm doing and if I'm reaching my goals or not. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll put that out next Tuesday. Let's do one more. I think you've got this down pretty good by now, hopefully. If not, leave a comment or a question down below and I'll help you through this. I'm new to doing YouTube channels if you haven't spotted that yet, so hang in there with me and I'll get better at this and we'll get faster and we'll keep trying to improve your systems so that way you can get better at listing. Okay, let's see what else we got. Let's go back into our drafts. Let's see this one. I'm leaning into vintage again, so again, you're not just going to see bread and butter brands on this bread and butter brands on this channel. You're going to see a lot of vintage stuff too. So be sure to check that out. Stick around, and you will see all of the regular stuff that I'm assuming you guys are posting as well, because I'm doing the same. Okay. So what we have here, Sasa top, women, black lace, fringe, studded, Western cowgirl, vintage aesthetic. Let's go see what Gemini thinks about that. Let's do the front and just this tag. Usually you don't get too much for vintage, so let's just see what it pops up for us. Let's write next item. And back over here, I'm not going to go through all this. God, I want to change this and post it so fast. I'm so used to just going so fast and posting these, but right now this is more about you and helping you kind of figure out this AI thing. So let's just check out what it says. Vintage Sasa shirt, women's medium, black Western fringe lace top, conchos, 90s. Interesting. I will have to look up that word. Oh, I think that's the little things on here, these things. I think that's these, right? I don't know. Leave a message below. Let me know what that means. Okay. So the suggested price here was 30 bucks. Between 25 and 35. They checked eBay, Poshmark, and Etsy on this one. They found 6 comps, 48%, moderate. I'd push that a lot higher than that for me, but because I've sold this kind of stuff before, and I am in a working class community in Bend, work hard, play hard community, and so we have a lot of Western wear, and a lot of these ladies and fellas go out to like the Western bars and stuff like that, and then end up donating a lot of this stuff, and it just sells really well for me too. So, and I do have a lot of repeat customers who come back because I sell a lot of this kind of interesting Western stuff that can be vintage, some of it's modern. So anyway, so around 30 bucks here, and then it gives you a description. It's a medium, made in USA, features bold fringe. Okay, yeah, there's the conchos again. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave the comments below. I really appreciate it if you guys would subscribe and be patient with me and give me a little grace as I kind of figure out these ways of bringing you how I do things and hopefully benefit your store and your platforms. That's it, guys. I really appreciate it. Come back on Tuesday. I have a lot to share with you guys, including all of my numbers, okay? Ciao for now.